Hello and welcome to the Claret and Blue podcast. I'm your host, Dan Rolinson, joined by Mat Kendrick at 10 o'clock on Thursday evening after Aston Villa brush past Basel. That is a Basel brush pun with their second half substitutes. I'm not even sure they did brush past them, but don't let a good pun go to waste, right, Kendrick?
Exactly, yeah. I thought Basel were quite faulty actually tonight, being as they'd won most of their. Was it the last 7 Europa League games
good at
at
home.
home or something? So yeah, they're on a bit of a Swiss roll, weren't they? But is that enough?
Yeah, that'll do. This podcast is sponsored by NordVPN and FPro. There's a link to both in the description with up to 60% off FPro, and we all know what they offer with the advert that we did a few weeks ago. They get the badge in there, the Europa League patch. Got this shirt for my birthday, actually, for my mum and dad, so shout out to them for that. I feel like one of the players wearing the shirt that we just wore. Feels a little bit on the nose, but here we are. Yeah, decent. It's not the best game at all, but as we often say with some of these, just get the job done. This could have been a pretty sticky tie with their home form, like you say, winning 7 in the last 7 home games or 7 in Europe or whatever the stat was. Don't particularly care, to be honest. You can go and rock up and fall short of that and kind of falter to the home atmosphere and all those different things. So to go there and win that's all it's about, isn't it? You don't necessarily have to play particularly well.
Yeah, we're in that winning rhythm now, aren't we? And I think these Europa League away games seem to follow a bit of a pattern, don't they? Whereby
boring and
you almost
plead first off.
Yeah, you're almost pleading with us to go and get that. You know, when you've got a bit of daylight to go and finish the game off, but it's almost like they keep a little bit back, knowing that they should just about have enough to get over the line. A couple of times.
There's a part of that is a good thing, though, right? Like we've won the game there in the way that you'd like to. You make changes. I don't think the team is particularly great, the second string, but you're still in it at half time. It allows you to bring someone like Tielemans on who scores straight away to get you back ahead. Job done. And then you can bring the likes of Rodgers on and Watkins and McGinn, and it's like, okay, we're finishing the game at full strength, and we see it out. We brushed past Basel. As Bardell says in the comments, we nicked his title. I can't believe you thought that as well, mate. Come on. That's what you get for going second, I guess, occasionally. But yeah, that's the way to do it, isn't it? You make changes, and then if you need to, you bring the players in, you win the game, you go home happy.
Yeah, I think so. And it's, like I said, it very rarely does it come back and bite us on the bum. It did, obviously, against kind of go-ahead Eagles. That was our only one blip this year in the Europa League. But you're right, if we can, as much as I'd have loved us to push for that third goal and, gone flat out for another 20 minutes to make sure of the result earlier, it might be that the fact we didn't, we might need that extra energy in our legs in the final 20 minutes at West Ham on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think we've hit a kind of efficient rhythm here. It almost feels as if everybody, Emery, the players, the coaches, us supporters, are almost just waiting for the knockout stages now. It just feels like this. I wouldn't say it's futile because we haven't got to that stage yet where we can take European football for granted. But it's almost like, okay, yeah, it's almost like this is the pre-season. This is the Europa League pre-season as a warm-up for the main event that's coming the other side of the new year.
The comment from Steph there says strolling through these ties in first gear whilst resting players. That's the luxury we didn't have in the Champions League last season. You have to make it count again on Sunday. If you win again on Sunday because Rodgers is fresh and McGinn's fresh, then that's absolutely the perks of playing in a lesser competition. We spoke about this if it is a title race, Arsenal and Manchester City, although Manchester City did beat Real Madrid, and I'm not sure what Arsenal did. Did they win again? They start playing the Champions League, they can't rest players in the same way that Villa can. So that could prove to be a difference somewhere along the line. However, it can go wrong as well. That starting 11 doesn't look good. Those second string Sancho, pretty ineffective. Gesson, pretty ineffective, despite scoring a good finish, to be fair. But do you know what I mean? Like I've heard John say before that when we get into the latter stages of the season and it does start to get a little bit tight and everything is kind of really heightened, I don't know whether I do back much of the players beyond the first 11 to do a job when we really have to.
Well, that's potentially the problem. I mean, it's a problem for another day, but that's potentially the problem.
Got the January window as well.
Yeah, well, the problem that we've got I was going to say to look forward to, not that you look forward to problems, but that is the issue. You know, we absolutely want to see push as far as we can go in the Europa League. You know, we want a FA Cup, you know, ticks into it another year without that. So we want to see if we can be competitive in that. Who knows what our league position will be by the time we're rocking on, you know, end of February, start of March and stuff. But you do think to compete on those fronts, you know, we've probably got a strong 15, would you say?
Yeah.
15 or 16. You're asking a lot of them in terms of the amount of football that we'll have to, you know, I don't know. I can't see Emery when it gets to the knockout stages of the Europa League chopping and changing as much as he has done. But who knows? You know, he'll have a clear idea by the time, you know, we get to February and March what he thinks his absolute priority is. So yeah, listen, we've won 8 games on the spin with a first team that have really clicked into gear, and the supporting cast around the edges of it that have come on and haven't let us down. There might not be as sparkling as the players who keep them out of the team, hence why there's a pecking order. But we're in really, really, really good shape at the moment.
Yeah. It's comment earlier on from MJ Walker. I thought it said Jim Walker to begin with. Please own up for once. We were awful. Does that matter? Like you just say, we've won our 8th game consecutively. Do you have to play brilliantly in every single one? I'd rather be 3 points better off in the Europa League than no points better off. Like we played awful and we lost. Yeah, bad. Played awful and we won. All right.
Yeah, I think it's unrealistic expectations if you think we can be swashbuckling every single week. I think it's about managing a run of fixtures, not just one game, and the fact that we're able to do that even when we're not at our absolute best. You know, that's a sign of a great manager, and it's a sign of a team and a squad who pretty much, you know, are well drilled in exactly what they should be doing from one week to the next.
Yeah. I just want to interrupt the show early doors with a plug for our Hockey Live show, which is this Monday upcoming, the 15th of December. Tickets are free, and I've just pasted a link into the comments. It's a short URL link, so it does look like a bit of a spam link, but it isn't. And it's in the podcast description as well. It's the final show. The way I'd worded this on Matt was, it's our final live show. And people are like, oh, the last one? What are you doing the last one? Why? It's the final one at Hockley specifically. The venue closes down at the end of the month. So it's the last ever one that we'll do there. It's a bit of a mid-season review, Christmas party kind of vibe, isn't it? Looking forward to it?
I am, yeah. Just flash up those that picture again, because I quite like those sofas, you know. I don't know whether they're chucking them in a skip or whatever. It's got a bit of a Cluedo kind of grand drawing room vibe to it, hasn't it?
Yeah, Chesterfields, aren't they? I think is that what they're called?
Yeah, I don't know whether you're driving or how we get in there, but we might need to take a roof rack, see if we can. Reminds me when the Holton was. Andy at Hockey Social's not going to appreciate me trying to loot half of his stuff now, especially as they've got several other venues. But it reminds me of the Holt was knocked down and people were leaving with bricks and toilet seats and all that kind of thing. Do not do that. Come to the live show.
No, please do not do that. They've got other shows after ours. They don't close down till the end of the year. So yeah, that's the 15th. If you want to come to that, please do. Bardell's there. Ty Bracey and James Rushton will be joining us for a Q&A in the same kind of style that we've done before. Different vibe, obviously, because we normally do the end of the season, and we also understand it's a different time of year. It's 10 days before Christmas. Works, parties, Christmas presents. If you choose not to come because money is tight, we get it. Even though the tickets are free, so got to buy you food and your drink and whatnot. We don't put that on our expenses, do we, Matt? I don't even think we get food and drinks, do we? Never mind everybody else.
I don't know. I think I don't want to push my luck. I think I have had a food voucher previously. So if you're watching Andy, I won't. Yeah, if you're watching Andy, I won't nick your sofa as long as you give me a free burger. That sounds fair.
Decent trade-off, to be fair.
No, it should be a brilliant night. You know, we've got 2 more games. No, we haven't got. We've got 1 more game before.
One more now, yeah.
West Ham. Keep the winning run rolling at West Ham. Then this should be quite a kind of party vibe.
Yeah.
And even if we don't, there still should be a party vibe because we've had a ridiculous.
We've lost 1 in 10 or something. Yeah. Okay, back to the football. Abibi says, "Can we talk Gesson, the only player who looks like he could be a centre forward, right winger, and right back, while simultaneously looking like he couldn't be a centre forward, right back, and right winger all in the same game." Love the guy. I just don't know. I don't know. There's every so often I see a little bit of something and think, oh, you know what? Yeah, a little sign of improvement. And I do think his goal is a really good finish, by the way. It's quick thinking and it kind of catches the keeper off guard. And maybe they could defend it better, but he's done well there. And then he puts a cross in and it goes out for a throw in. And like, oh, there he is. That's the everyone Gesson we know and love.
I don't know what is there to say. I think he's quite likable in a way.
Yeah, I don't hate him.
He's a likable maverick. I don't know. It's really, really unfair on this, but he strikes me as a Aston Villa 2015-16 player rather than Aston Villa 2025-26 player. But even some of those went on to be half decent.
He
He scored the goal that's given us the platform to win tonight. I did see flashed up on my screen that a certain Leon Bailey had scored tonight. I think, yeah. Wow. So I was thinking, could we still do a swap deal? But no, listen, you can't fault his effort. I think I don't know how long can you keep saying it. He's raw, isn't he? Is he a technically gifted enough footballer to be completely well versed in the Emery way?
Keeps picking him.
Unai Emery feels that he can be. So who are we to doubt?
Yeah, and we've laughed and joked about other players in the past that have turned out to come on and be useful and good, like Buendia and Cash. So, like, yeah, maybe we look like tits in a year's time, but I don't think we will. An interesting point here from Tom. Did anyone else feel unbothered about the game today, or was it just me? Felt boring after the weekend and struggled to get up for it. Felt like the players maybe looked the same. I find this kind of stuff really interesting. I don't want to go on a massive kind of tangent here, but I would get accused of, oh, you're not a proper fan if you don't have blood, sweat and thunder after every single game. But you do approach games differently. You do feel differently. Arsenal in the Premier League, for the opportunity to close the gap onto the top of the league and put some room behind you in the Champions League, does feel very different to Basel away on TNT Sports at 8 o'clock on a Thursday. It just does. But the players still have to go through those motions of getting up for them. And that's why the run they're on is so remarkable, whether they're playing well or not. To keep getting yourself up for it and winning games is pretty special. But it is easy, I think, sometimes, and I don't know whether you're the same, to be distracted by your phone or children running around or whatever it is and be like, oh, well, if I've missed a couple of minutes of Basel, do you know what I mean? Whereas Arsenal, it's like, no, everybody get out. Like, I'm focused on this.
It's all right. They've just been amused in the comments. Scotty Saul saying Gesson needs an F Pro subscription.
60% off in the link down below. Evan, if you're watching.
I don't know, Dan. I've said this before. I reckon if I was in that away end tonight, I wouldn't have been distracted by my phone. I'd have been fully engaged. So I find it difficult sometimes. Whereas, I've said, haven't I? When I'm in the stadium, I feel involved. I feel like I can make an impact. Whereas when I'm watching it on the television, I know that I can get up and go for a wee. I know that I can put the kettle on. I know that I could, make crap jokes on Twitter or whatever. So I'm never fully invested anyway. When I'm watching on telly, but wouldn't say I wasn't bothered. I still think I want us to win something. And without jinxing it or cursing it, it could be this. It could be this. Yeah. So, and as much as
this is just a montage in the route to the final, isn't it? That's really, you're just getting through them and then forgettable games. And when you get to the proper end, you go, oh, I remember Gesson scored against Basel. Oh yeah, it's that, isn't it?
Yeah. How many games could we potentially play this season? 50? More than that? 55? Or whatever, depending on how we're doing the other competitions and how we're doing this competition. You're not going to savour every last second of every game, although you savour the last second of the last game, obviously. But yeah, I think I'm really, really resisting us falling into this entitled state.
I get that.
We've waited a really long time for it. And if Super Dean Smith values it enough to give
Yeah.
up his time and to be part of the Claret and Blue travelling army, then who are we to question how involved and invested we should be in a group game against Basel?
Yeah, lovely to see Dino over there. I saw him. I think you shared the picture of him with a flag. What did it say on it? Because of you or something?
It said because of you.
Is that about him? Do you think? And that's why
Well,
he's
I
having
don't
a
know
picture with you.
because of you is a Dexys Midnight Runners song that used to be on a sitcom called Brushstrokes.
There we go. All ties together.
And, Basil Brushstrokes. But I should think that it was probably. I'm not sure I would have the theme tune from a 1980s sitcom.
Because it was because of Basel. Who knows? It could be about Emery. It could be about anything. But like, I do kind of feel. I mean, this could become a Dean Smith podcast, but a bit like we are kind of. We're not in Europe because of a Dean Smith. But you know the point I'm making? We were at a completely different club when he was here to what we are now. But without him, I don't think we're allowed to be what we are now. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it depends how far you want to trace it back. I mean, it could have been for William McGregor, couldn't it? You know what I mean? But yeah, if it was, I mean, it was quite. Even if it wasn't, the fact that he was posing with that banner made it seem as if it was or it should have been. Let us know in the comments who is the you. who is it because of?
Maybe the U is Villa, and it's like we're here because forget this. What are we doing? Talking about the words on a flag. Something more important, a quiz question inspired from Twitter, and I've worked out the answer, so it could be wrong, but we're going to go with my answer anyway. When was the last time we won a game not in the home kit? Do you know?
Oh, you've thrown me now.
Because we played plenty of away games in Claret and Blue, obviously apart from tonight, which we won in this white one.
Are you suggesting that it's not this season?
It is not this season, yeah, if my calculations are correct. Somebody in the comments will help me along here while you're trying to think, I hope, anyway.
Oh, I've got no idea, mate. I can't even remember who we won up against. Was it when we beat, when Watkins scored his record-breaking goal? Where's that away at Bournemouth?
Bournemouth away in the white shirt of last year is what I'd got it down as to. We've played a couple of away games this year in the black kit, which is, as we all know, cursed. We're against Man United in the last game of last season, which I don't like. Lost in it this year, or didn't win in it this year. We've won this white, creamy coloured kit thing as well, and not won apart from tonight, I think, this season. Yeah. And we've played in Claret at Tottenham away and Leeds away. So we've played in a home variant at least. So all the way back to Bournemouth last time we didn't win in Claret and Blue, which is pretty mad, really.
Yeah, I mean, I thort we were wearing all white in honour of Roger Federer on walking out pristine.
I ain't seen Roger Federer for a while. Where has he been spotted anywhere? Or?
Well, I didn't realise it at first. I thought it was going to be Morgan Rogers wearing a fedora. I thought that's what. So when he came on the pitch, and he didn't have one. Yeah, it was referenced, wasn't it? Roger was referenced on
just once or twice. Yeah, just shots of him like on his phone. He wasn't even paying attention, and he was there. He was on his phone for a couple of them. Is he a Basel fan?
He must be. He was googling to find out about that because of you, Banner. That's what it was. He thought it was about him.
It's bizarre, isn't it? Like, as a famous person, yeah, we must show them every 5 minutes reacting to what's just happened on the pitch. Yeah, utterly bizarre. We've done 18 minutes. I'm not suggesting this is the end. Should we talk about some football? What would you like to talk about? Tielemans' goal?
Yeah, so let's talk about the changes first of all. So 8 changes, wasn't there? So who were the survivors? Cash, Konsa, and
Onana.
And Onana
played against Arsenal.
So the fact that we were able to take the lead, I thought for the first 20 minutes or whatever, I thought we looked like we got an element of control over it.
Yeah, plenty of the ball.
It was an unorthodox finish, but it was an effective finish from Gesson. It was pinging around. When I watched the replay at half time, why was the goalie clutching his chest? I don't
know,
digging it or something. Or
I think they were claiming there was something in there, but I don't know. I always think those kind of things are just down to embarrassment. I've got to pretend I'm injured because I've just conceded a crap goal.
But he did that before he dived.
I don't know then. I'm probably going to concede to everyone. Guess on. Oh no, I must be injured or something.
Get your mitigation in first, yeah. And then I just thought we got a little bit a little bit sloppy. I mean, the offside one, we got really lucky. We
Yeah,
just
got
seemed
away
to
with
be
that.
ball watching a little bit.
Yeah.
And then having survived that, to then concede a few minutes later was poor form, I
Yeah.
thought. I mean,
But again, when we talk about like, oh, we're awful, but we got away with it. There's been plenty of times on this run of wins where there have been moments where the game could go the other way, and Villa of old do crumble. We talk a lot about mentality in the summer, and the last Hockey Live show we did, that was, I remember asking for questions on little bits of paper, and the amount of ones that I threw away of Villa's mentality, because we've got one here, that'll do. We don't need 300 of them, because that was the thing. That seems to have changed a bit now that we can deal with adversity a bit better, I think.
yeah, I think so. But it's still very Villa to put you through a little bit of that
Yeah, that's football,
along
isn't
the
it?
way. But again, we can't just steamroll, Swiss roll teams along the way. But you know, I think the goalie, obviously the goalie's been blamed for the equaliser. And I get it. He probably should have come out a little bit more decisively and been a bit physically
Yeah,
stronger.
you've got to own it, haven't you, if you're going to come through
But
like that.
also, I don't think he got much protection from his defenders for that. But yeah, after that, I don't know. It was a kind of bit nip and tuck when Tielemans comes on. He's fast becoming. I wouldn't say he's becoming my favourite ever Villa footballer, but he's finding his way quite quickly into the top 10. Certainly in terms of technicians, if you like, in terms of how clever he is. And it was just
A classy operator, I would say.
Yeah, he is. You know, I probably was eulogising about Douglas Luiz in these similar terms a couple of years ago. I do think, and maybe it's recency bias, and I do think he's a class above Luiz.
I agree. Yeah.
Certainly in terms of the way he can see passes and make things happen. He's closing in on Gareth Barry for one of my favourite Villa midfielders of my however many years, 40 years or more of watching Villa. So it's brilliant, and the finish that's ultimately gone and won us the game was an example of that as well. I thought when I first saw it, I thought it had gone further in the corner than it actually had. I think it was close.
It's gone round a player, hasn't it? So hard for the keeper.
Yeah, but it was class. I'll tell you what amused me today. Did you see when they cut away to McPhee and he was shouting, "Guess on!" Really?
Yeah, get in.
It gave me the he just kept repeating his name. It gave me the Partridge Dan vibes.
I always wonder with that, do they care or can the players hear what is being instructed to them? There was one at Villa Park for the Arsenal game where somebody was trying to shout and one of the players going into the box kind of heard it and went to whoever it was. But do you know what I mean? They kind of look at it and go, yeah, surely they've not heard it and recognised like anything of note there. Is it just all like a bit GCSE drama? Like we have to show that we're doing something, so we've got to kind of give it big one.
It's funny because we've said this before, but I've said it a moment ago between the difference between being in the stadium and watching on the telly. They must have, if you're a coach or you're a manager, you must have so much kind of nervous energy of trying to impact that game that it's got to go somewhere. But there's going to be somebody who's doing something on the opposite side of the pitch that is going to frustrate you every bit as much and is going to need guidance or advice. Yet you can't convey that message to them. So it is all a bit futile. But maybe the ones who are in earshot do listen and think, well, actually, I'll do what I'm told. It was good to see McPhee without the use of crutches anyway today. So
that's just reminded me from the Arsenal game. I totally forgot we didn't talk about it, given the madness of how that game ended. Here's some post-Arsenal chat for you. Do you remember in the start of the second half when McPhee came out late at Villa Park and he was on his crutches and Villa had a set piece? Am I the only one who spotted this out of us?
I can't remember. What was he? Was he wanging his crutch? Was he directing with his
Yeah,
crutch.
he was taking ages to get on, and the fourth official kept coming to say, like, get in there, either get in the technical area or sit down, basically. It's like, bloke's on crutches, give him a break, but he's going slow and keeps looking back and going slow. And then, they got all like the hand signals, and one's like an X. He did it with the
Yeah.
crutches. He had the crutches as a big X, and I was like, talk about like not being able to see. Crutches, I think it's all a ruse. I don't think there's anything wrong with his leg. I think he just wants to use the crutches as a signal for corners and stuff.
Yeah, listen, mate. There might be people who've only just joined us there who haven't got the sound on. I don't want you doing the John Duran before we play West Ham. So can you?
Yeah. The John Duran derby at the weekend.
I once saw a bloke down at the Grove at Halzo in town, and he got thrown out. He was a disabled bloke, and he was like angrily, not like Austin McPhee. He was like angrily waving his crutch at somebody. And I think he threw it on the pitch or something, and it was just weird seeing him helped out. I don't think they gave him his crutch back.
I think fell over.
Just escorted him out. Anyway, where were we? What were we talking about?
I don't know. There's a comment from Ian who said, "Did you like Buendia's McGinn-esque shielding of the ball in the lead up to the goal?" Yeah, I was going to mention that. Much as it's a great finish, Buendia does very well to kind of get his body in the way and lay it off to Tielemans in a nice weight on it that he can just kind of run onto it. And I think it was Andy Townsend on commentary talking about the finish, that it's easy in that position to want to kind of blast it, basically, where he's picked his spot and guided it. And it's just a sign of a classy footballer and speaks to what we were saying before of we're in the trouble a little bit here. That first half wasn't very good, but here's Yuri Tielemans. It's not a bad change to bring on, is it? He scored the winner. We can then bring on other changes to see out the game. It's just a nice professional job, well done. That's a big club acting in the way a big club does. We're going to use the tools at our disposal to see us through this potentially difficult evening. That's literally the point of having a squad like that.
Yeah, on the Buendia point, yeah. It must be something. Are diminutive players taught the art of using their? I mean, do taller players use their arse to stop people, or not? Or do you just not notice it because
they probably don't notice it as much because they've got more presence about them? It's probably more noticeable that a smaller player who you would expect to be out-muscled hasn't, and they've used their body well. But it's probably not anything special.
Yeah, I just wonder. I can just see like kind of on kids teams training kids.
Anyone who's not growing at the correct rate for their age, you've got to go to special training.
Just wondering what that drill is if you're training young footballers to do it. You know the Birdie song where you kind of waggle your bum. I wonder if it's where are we going with this, mate?
Yeah, I think so. Is there anything else you want to go through? You want to discuss? I've got a shout out, but anything you've got left? Anything you got left in the tank?
I don't think there is, mate. I think I'm done. To be honest, the only other thing was I found it funny when the commentator mentioned a Yeti. Every time he said a Yeti, I imagine like a Bigfoot was going to come on the come on the scene. It's just a weird turn. Well, no, it's his name or a weird turn of phrase. Who's your shout out for? Hey, in terms of the one thing I did want to mention, John's put some brilliant videos on social from some of the.
That was how I was going to.
You hear the noise before you see it.
Yeah, John, he's picked up some tips and tricks, hasn't he, John, over the last few years? He's got a video here about him.
Do we think?
All right. Okay. Steady on. Yes, you do. That is how I was going to have my segue into this, because the shout out is on John's behalf. And I was going to say he's done some good video over there, but you beat me to it. The video of the one you're talking about of kind of going through the back alleys of where is he? But you can hear Villa. And then, there they are. Very well done, John. John asked me to do a shout out for Carl, who met John over there. It was his 60th birthday yesterday. He saw him outside the ground before the presser, and he watches the podcast all the time. John texted me to do the shout out on his behalf. So, Carl, thank you for watching. Really appreciate that. I've just seen 1874 live. Basel brushed aside by Tielemans. How dare you, Dan Bardell, come in here and say you're going to use the same title as us? How dare you actually carry through on that and not be creative and think of something else, you little slug? Yeah, some great videos. Have you ever seen Blues in Switzerland? Have you? Yeah, some nice little bits and pieces from John. Like he's done well. He's good with the old video now.
I do like that though, because obviously John is in a privileged position of being able to go away, all expenses paid, providing it's less than £5 a meal, to watch Villa in Europe. And I think if we are stuck in front of TNT or Discovery or whatever it is, and we're not feeling fully immersed in the experience, those little glimmers, those little, Ian Taylor was standing on a table again last night, wasn't he? Kind of conducting a choir
standard
in some bar. So I love those little glimmers, and it gives you that kind of FOMO a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
But no, he's done a good job, John. So well done, son.
All right, that's enough praise for John. I know he'll be listening. That's enough. Less of that. I think we're done, to be honest. Hockley Live show tickets, as I say, they are, or they will be, once we finish recording, they will go into the podcast description. They're free. Please do come along. It says the event starts at 5, but it doesn't. The doors to the venue open at 5, and if you want to get in for some food and drink and whatnot straight after work or whatever your situation is, you can get there from 5. The show is expected to start around 7:30. You, me, and John will do kind of a 25-30 minute chit chat about whatever is happening on Monday, and then we'll have a quick break, and then we'll bring on our guests and answer questions from those in the audience, and we expect to finish around 9:30. Just a quick shout out, bit of clarity for those who maybe are bringing kids who are under 18, not small kids, but even 16-year-olds or whatever. There is a 9 p.m. curfew for those people of that age. 9:30, I think it might be, that they have to be out of the venue. So if the show is still ongoing at 9:30, you will be told to leave. So we are going to finish before then anyway. So if you want to bring under 18s, you can, but you absolutely have to be out of the venue by 9:30. I think the plan is to finish. So we've done these before where we finish at 10:30, and you kind of, thanks for coming everyone. Then you turn around and you turn back again, and everyone's gone because it's last trains and stuff. The thinking is, if we finish a bit earlier, we can all have a bit of a mingle and have a beer and whatnot after the show finishes. But if you've got kids, you'd have to leave then. Is that all the T's and C's?
Yeah, we will throw them out like a discarded bin bag as soon as it ticks 9:30. So
just warning you for that.
Just be warned.
Yeah, so tickets in the link down below, as are our sponsorship information as well, FPro and NordVPN. I think we're done, aren't we? Anything else you want to plug?
No, I was going to sing, but I haven't got the energy tonight. But yeah, I have come up with some new chants. There's a Marlon one. Yeah. Marlon one to Don't You Want Me Baby by the Human League. I've done an Esri Konza one on my Facebook page tonight. I can't remember what cover version it is. And there's one, somebody challenging me to do Kamara and Anana and Kamara to the tune of Bananas in Pajamas.
We had a question about that on the Q&A.
Yeah.
Might be the same person, I guess.
So check that out. Not coming soon to a football stadium near you, but he passes a few minutes.
Probably to a podcast near you soon, though.
Yeah, I'd have thought so. Yeah. Sing it. Get me a drink on Monday, and I'll
probably Monday. Question: what are the chants that Matt's made up? You'll get them that way.
The only other thing for me, Dan, is just a little shout out for the Jim Walker podcast interview that we put out yesterday, I believe. Obviously, legendary physio, probably the gentlest of gentlemen that football's ever known. Really, a really lovely fella. Obviously, the mentor, carer, friend, and supporter of Paul McGrath, arguably our greatest ever player. And Jim deserves a lot of credit for keeping him fit mentally and physically, with the various issues that McGrath had. Some brilliant stories, and a shout out for Jim's book, Walker's Way, with all of the proceeds, I believe, going to dementia charities. So half an hour, if you get chance on your commute in the morning or whatever, or if you get a spare half an hour, check it out, because he's a lovely fellow, and he's got a few great stories to tell from his 16 years at Villa.
Yeah, it's a really good show. The headline on the title was "Jim, I'm Still Drunk," which was a story of Paul McGrath asking him to come onto the pitch for an injury, and he's still drunk during the game, which it's funny, and it also obviously really isn't, but some really good bits in there. We also, just while we're doing plugs, we did our Christmas special last week, didn't we? And I'm currently working my way through a mammoth edit, but that was really fun, and that won't come out for another couple of weeks yet. It'll be after Manchester United and before Christmas. It'll be out in that little period there, and that'll be like our final video of pre-Christmas, and between the United game and Chelsea, is it? I think we won't be like any previews or Q&As or anything. It'll just be that. Good fun, that. I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but similar format to what we did last year with a few little tweaks and changes, and thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It's a good end to the year. It's always good fun. yeah, with that, Christmas vibes with that, and the live show next week. It's a great end to another brilliant year of supporting Villa.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, right. We'll call it a night there. Matt, thank you for joining me on this one. Thank you for those who tuned in live. If you want to get involved in the various different things that I've referenced, there's all the links you need in the comment section after this video goes live. So yeah, do get on those in terms of Hockley Live tickets or getting your NordVPN accounts and all those different bits and pieces. Appreciate you tuning in. If you were listening on catch up, do you want to leave a comment in the a word for the comments or a phrase for the comments?
I don't know, Basel brush.
Yeah, Basel brush. If you watch
Basel
the end of
brush.
this podcast, yeah, Basel brush. Stick that in the comments, and we all know that you stayed to the very end. Right, night everyone. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you again. Don't know when. Soon. Bye.